and welcome to Half Horse Tarot. I am here with your monthly reading for the month of September 2018. Before we get started, I just want to talk about a couple of things real quick. I am filming these readings in the month of August, meaning that it might behoove some of you guys to go back and check out the monthly readings that I did for August, as well as some mid-month updates, just to get a better idea of some of the energies that you may be dealing with, especially if this particular reading doesn't resonate with you, because for a lot of people, the energies from August are going to be carrying through kind of throughout the rest of the year. So that may be something worth doing. Also, checking out your moon sign and rising signs for those readings, as well as checking out your moon and rising sign readings for the month of September, especially in the event that this reading doesn't resonate with you. If it does resonate, then it's always worthwhile to check out your other signs, just to see if you can get any more information or clarity regarding your particular situation. So with that all being said, we'll go ahead and get started with your reading. So your central issue for the month of September, really positive. I'm really liking it. You guys have the Three of Wands in the upright. The threes in general are all about, growth and abundance and, using your resources to kind of go off on a new path, start something new. It's like a really fertile kind of energy. There is that tie to the Empress. So I do like that being central to your reading. And, the Three of Wands is about kind of waiting for your ship to come in. So when you go back to the Two of Wands, in the Two of Wands, there was some sort of decision or choice made. And the Three is just kind of waiting for the outcome of that decision that you made back in the Two to really kind of manifest, and for things to kind of take flight. So there is, an element of waiting there, but there is the ship in the background. It's coming in for you guys. You may just be dealing with a couple of delays here and there for some of you. So in your distant past, you guys have the Lover's card in the upright. This can represent the sign of Gemini. I'm not really getting that for most people though, but if it is a Gemini, they seem to be fairly positive, so I don't really see anything negative there. But for a lot of you guys, this can represent a relationship. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, though I think for a lot of people that's going to be the case. It can also symbolize some sort of really strong bond or connection. So even in the sense of your work environment, if you have a really close partner, a really close boss, somebody who you work with in close proximity to, and there is that kind of harmonious, almost blessed sort of relationship there, that could be relevant to you guys. So if it is symbolic of a relationship, I do think it's going to be a positive relationship for the most part. But the Lovers can also be about making a decision. And while there aren't three people in the Lover's card, as you see in some depictions, it is worth just throwing that out there, particularly because I did mention going back to that Two of Wands. So maybe in the distant past, some of you guys had to make a choice of some sort. And for some of you, that decision may have been one that brought you some regret, some pain, because you do have right next to the Lovers the Five of Cups, and it is in the upright. So that's the Five of Cups is somebody who's kind of mourning over the loss of these three cups and is blind to the two cups that are still standing behind him. So this card is really all about grief or remorse, regret, just kind of that negative emotional state, and also not really being aware of the positive things that you have surrounding you. So if some of you guys did make a major decision in the past, you may be dealing with the emotional ramifications of that decision, and that energy is kind of being brought forward with you through the month of September. Others of you, if that is pertinent to your relationship, maybe there was something that happened in regards to your relationship that on an emotional level really kind of knocked the wind out of you. It could be different for anybody. Just for instance, say somebody cheated in the relationship, and now they're dealing with the emotional regret of that. maybe you've been fighting or whatever, and you feel guilty about some things that were said. So, you know, for some of you guys, it's gonna play out differently in regards to a relationship. But the only thing I don't like is that the Five of Cups is still in the upright, and that is in your recent past. So if some of you guys are still dealing with this on an emotional level, throughout the month of September, there's definitely going to be a focus on really working through that Five of Cups energy, because you do have some positive things coming your way. So all of the cards that are above your central issue are things that I see as being external influences. That can mean things that somebody else is doing to you, things that are being done to someone in your environment, energies that the universe is bringing in your way, or just generally speaking, things that are less within the realm of your control. Additionally, they can also be things that are going on within your own head. So I'm getting a couple of different messages regarding these cards. At the very top of your spread, you guys have the Six of Swords in the upright. This is all about moving on from turbulent waters and moving into calmer seas. So there may have been a situation, again, this does link to the Five of Cups, that brought you a lot of grief or anxiety, strife, just a lot of negativity. And with this card being above you, you're on a mental level starting to work through that and really beginning to move forward in a positive and constructive way and moving on to something better. So I do like that that is above you guys, especially if that's kind of what you're going through mentally. I think that'll help you guys to release that Five of Cups energy. So, you know, that's looking really positive. Beneath the Six of Swords, you guys have the Knight of Wands. Again, this is a card that's about moving forward. The Wands are the fastest suit in the tarot deck. You know, this is fire energy. It's all about creativity, passion, motivation, drive, really physical energy. And so for a lot of you guys, I think you're going to be harnessing that on, you know, a mental internal level and really taking that drive and propelling yourselves forward. If you look at both of these two cards together, you know, they're moving forward in the same direction. So that's good. This could potentially represent a person because it is a quartz sign. I don't normally see the Knights as quartz signs, but I do just throw them out there just in case. So this could be a fire sign, sun, moon, or rising, male or female. The fire signs for your reference are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. It can also, if it is a person, they would likely be somebody close in proximity to you age-wise. And if it is a person, they may be somebody that you are interested in romantically, linked to romantically, or even on a creative front. So again, going back to what I said about businesses, maybe you work in some sort of creative venture and you have a partner who kind of sounds like this particular individual. If it is a person, I don't really get anything negative in regard to them. They link up to the Lover's card and to the Page of Wands, so maybe they're going to be coming in with some sort of message for you via social media. It might be a romantic offer, or it could even be one that for some of you guys is just going to be purely sexual in nature and not necessarily emotional or romantic in that kind of sense. So if that's the case and somebody on a romantic front kind of comes in and is looking for like a hookup or a booty call, that's going to be up to you as to whether or not you want to pursue that. You know, it's not really negative energy, but in terms of emotional depth, I'm not really seeing that, at least for the next month. So just something to keep in mind if somebody like that sort of fire sign character, that in and out, come and go energy comes into your life within the next couple of weeks. So additionally, when I see the Six of Swords and the Knight of Wands together, that can mean that some of you guys are contemplating an actual physical move. So maybe you guys are considering, you know, say something in a previous relationship didn't work out and now you're having to move out of your shared residence, or you're contemplating moving to a completely different state, starting over. For others of you, maybe moving somewhere new to pursue a job opportunity. You know, whatever it is, if you are one of those people contemplating a move, it's because that's the only way that you feel your ship is going to come in. Everything that you've kind of been building up to, you may not be able to achieve wherever you happen to be. So in regards to physical move. For some of you guys, that is going to be the option worth taking. I do think that'll be a small minority though, but I just wanted to throw that out there just in case. So beneath your central issue are cards that are kind of within your foundational energy. These may be things that you've been dealing with for a long time, information that's already known to you, or they can just be things that are going to be within your control in the next month. So you guys have the Page of Wands. And this can be, again, a fire sign like the Knight of Wands. But they would likely be somebody who is slightly younger than you, or who just behaves more like an immature child. The Page of Wands, being in the upright, it is positive energy. If it is a person, they seem to be, again, fairly positive. They link up to the same cards as the Knight of Wands. So, a lot of what I said about the Knight of Wands will apply to this page as well. But this may be somebody that you already know just because they are in the foundation, as opposed to the Knight of Wands being somebody who would more likely than not be new coming in, or they would be the ones to take the initiative with you, as opposed to you being the one to take the initiative with this Page of Wands. So it's going to play out differently for different people, regarding their personal relationships or business partnerships or whatever. But for a lot of you guys, I do think it's going to be less of a person and more of communication or energy coming in. The Page of Wands often symbolizes really rapid fire communication, maybe something that's done via text message or email, social media, something of that nature. The messages do seem to be, for the most part, positive. But with this card being beneath your central issue, you may be the one to be bringing this message in to somebody else. Also, the pages are all about being in the beginning stages of something new. So maybe you guys are going to be pursuing a new path in terms of something physical. Again, that could be a physical move. Others of you may be pursuing a new creative path, something that you're really passionate about. Basically everything that's represented by that fire sign, that really motivated energy. So I do like that that's beneath your central issue. If you can harness that energy and use that to move forward, it seems to be really, really positive. The one thing I am concerned about in terms of the cards that are beneath your central issue is the Queen of Cups in reverse. Because you guys are a water sign, this could be your energy. If not, it could be another water sign, male or female, sun, moon, or rising, and the water signs are Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. So for a lot of you guys, I do think that this is going to be you though, especially if you have been dealing with a bit of emotional turmoil, because this card does connect to the Five of Cups as well as the Six of Swords and the Five of Wands reversed. So you might just be a little bit out of sorts for probably the next month if you are dealing with those issues on an emotional level or a mental level. And it's just going to be a matter of really taking the time to work through all of that and to not let yourselves become emotionally overwhelmed. You do have a lot of energies about moving forward, a lot of fire energy. I like that Six of Swords. So just don't get too caught up in your own head, and I think you're going to be fine. So that is just something to keep in mind. Again, I do think that's going to primarily be your energy. I don't really see that as being someone else. But if it is somebody else, maybe there was another water sign in your life who you've had to move away from. They would be somebody who's in your foundational energy. So this would have been a long time ago, but you may still be dealing with this on an emotional level because they do connect to that Five of Cups. Again, they could even be somebody who you've lost in a physical sense. Maybe somebody passed away and you've been dealing with the grief of that loss and having to move forward and really let go of that. So I don't think that's going to be the majority of you guys. Again, I do think that's just going to be your energy being there in the foundation, a little bit out of sorts. But I just want to bring that up just in case it resonates with someone. So in your near future, you guys have the Five of Wands in reverse. And this kind of says two different things to me, and it's going to depend on which kind of camp you fall in. Normally, I like to see the Five of Wands in the reverse because in the upright, you have all of this conflict. It can be competition. And in the reverse, it's like everybody drops the wands, the battle's over, and you can kind of come together and broker peace. So this can be externally or internally. So what I mean by that is some of you guys may have been going through some sort of inner conflict, debating something not really sure about how you want to move forward, and just kind of going back and forth with yourselves. Well, with that Five of Wands being in the reverse, it's like, okay, you're done with the internal conflict. You're ready to start moving forward. Maybe you've made a decision, and there's no need to be conflicted anymore. Likewise, if you have been competing for something, that competition may be over. In terms of a job, maybe you've been competing for a particular job position, and then within the next couple of weeks, somebody gets chosen for the position. So, it's going to depend on your particular situation. And the only negative thing is because the Five of Wands in the upright can represent competition, going back to what I said about jobs, or even in terms of a relationship, if you've been competing for somebody's affections, again, that competition is gonna be done. And in other words, the decision is going to eventually be made probably sometime this month. Now, the one concerning thing to me is that the next card is the Knight of Cups in the reverse, and this can be your energy, again, being a water sign. It could be, another water sign, as I mentioned with the Queen of Cups. But again, I don't normally read knights as people. I kind of see them more as like energies that are coming in. So I'm concerned that when this competition ends, or this decision is made, or everything comes to a close, that the particular outcome isn't going to be whatever you wanted. In other words, like, hypothetically speaking, say that you've been competing for somebody's affections in terms of a romantic relationship. Well, with the Knight of Cups being in the reverse, that could mean that somebody rejects your offer or rejects you. Likewise with the job. Maybe you've been competing for a job, and then you get the bad news that you didn't get the position. So that's going to play out differently for a lot of you guys. For other people, that Knight of Cups energy is just going to be blocked. Going back to what I said about possibly dealing with delays, because you do have that Three of Wands energy, which is kind of about having to wait for your ship to come in. You may have to wait for this news to come in, and it's not going to be negative news for everybody. It just may take some time to get a definitive answer moving forward. So if you are still waiting toward the end of the month to hear something, just keep in mind that you're gonna eventually hear from this person or this job or whatever, because this card does connect to these upright fire sign energies. It just may take a little bit of time to find that out. So the way that Five of Wands energy and that Knight of Cups energy is going to kind of combine and play out, it's going to be different for everybody. There's definitely an element of rejection for some people, and for other people, it's just going to be kind of a delay to hear good news or news in general. So that is just something to keep in mind. But overall, not ridiculously negative. So the overall energy that you guys have for your reading is the Emperor, which is, I really do like seeing that for you guys. The Emperor is somebody who kind of has it all together. There's somebody who's a provider, that kind of father figure, stable, has a lot of support, has a really strong and stable foundation, and is also somebody who kind of takes no nonsense. They don't let people walk all over them. They know what they want, and they have the drive to pursue what they want. So I do hope that this is your energy that we're talking about here, because I do think that regardless of what happens at the end of the month, whether it is, the ship you've been waiting for, it doesn't come in, or things don't go your way, that Emperor energy and really harnessing that and using that momentum to continue forward anyway in the pursuit of whatever it is that you want to achieve, that's going to be ultimately what carries you through. Because the Emperor, again, is somebody who has it all together. They have the resources, they have the tools, they have the abilities and the skills. Things may just not work out in their favor all the time, but that doesn't mean that they give up in the pursuit of their dreams. So, again, I really do hope that that's your energy and that you are harnessing that. For some of you guys, it's going to be the energy of somebody else in your life, most likely somebody male. So this could be, if you are female or in a same-sex relationship, this could be your romantic partner. This could also be your father. And so a lot of the stuff that I've been saying about this reading, just kind of interpreting it within the context of this particular male individual, may resonate with some of you guys. But I do think that generally speaking, this is going to be kind of your energy, because I do see a lot of fire energy and a lot of really kind of like that go-getter kind of energy and attitude. So I really do like that. You know, again, even if things don't work out by the end of the month with that 5 of Wands reverse and the Knight of Cups reverse, I think that a lot of you guys are going to be setting yourselves up for something bigger and better to come your way. So I do have some oracle cards here that'll help give me a little bit more information about the past and future energies that you guys have been and will be dealing with. So the past energy, you guys have the giant panda who represents sorrow. And that kind of ties in with this 5 of Cups in the upright. However, the sorrow of the giant panda isn't really directed toward yourself or within. It's directed more externally. And what I mean by that is that some people are so empathetic that they take on the emotional burdens of other people, to the point where it becomes overwhelming and exhausting for them. So the panda kind of shows up to remind you that it's great to be empathetic. It's really great to have people who trust you enough to where they can be open with you emotionally. You just have to know how to balance that out so that you're not taking on the weight of everybody else's problems. And that can even explain what's going on with that 5 of Cups energy and also the Queen of Cups reverse energy, which I said is most likely you guys. Maybe other people are experiencing this sort of grief or loss in your life, and you're having to deal with that energy, and it's just getting to the point where it's emotionally taxing. So if that does make sense, you're going to know that, because that is past energy. And just to keep in mind moving forward, to not let that energy become so overwhelming that it overburdens you and does a lot more damage to you than you are doing good for other people. So the energy that you guys have moving forward through the month of September, it's really great. It's the meerkat, or dependability. And the meerkat shows up to kind of represent teamwork and to remind people that you get more done when you work together. It also kind of represents that, you know, on your own, you do have the ability to achieve the things that you want to achieve, but you may not be at the point where you are able to achieve your goals. Again, like I said, you know, we do have the possible element here of rejection, especially in terms of a competitive environment, whether that be dating or work or whatever. But the one thing to keep in mind is that if something doesn't go your way, then one of the best ways that you can deal with that is by helping other people achieve their goals. And when you work with other people to help lift them up, then you're setting yourselves up for the opportunity for somebody to do the same for you. So basically the meerkat comes in to say, by helping other people, you in turn are going to help yourselves. Because it's almost like, think of it karmically speaking, putting that good positive energy out there, it's going to come back to you eventually. So moving forward through September, regardless of whatever may happen in terms of this ship that you're waiting for to come in, be willing to help other people, to work with other people, and by doing that and by showing people that you are somebody that can be depended upon, they're going to likely repay the favor to you down the road. So again, just in combination with these two cards though, if it comes down to the point where you are helping people so much that it's overwhelming you, especially on an emotional level, make sure that you dial that back. Just try to strike that balance, because helping people is great, but losing yourself along the way is not. But if you do make the effort to work with other people, especially people with whom you were competing, you're going to set yourselves up for some really positive energy to come your way a lot sooner than you may even realize. So I do hope that resonated for some of you guys. If it did, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you all. If you liked the video, I would appreciate a thumbs up, sharing the video, subscribing to the channel. I do want to take a moment to thank all of you guys who have already done all of those things for the readings that I posted for August. For even just watching the videos, giving thumbs up, leaving encouraging comments, subscribing to the channel. I've gotten a lot more support than I thought I would, and that means the world to me as I'm starting out with this channel and trying to get it going. So again, if this didn't resonate, do make sure to check out the readings for your moon sign and your rising signs. And with all of that being said, I will see you guys in a couple of weeks with your mid-month update.